everyone, Ryan Oake here with Oake Mortgage, powered by Dominion Lending Centers, Producers West Financial. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you guys about credit scores and your credit report. When speaking with a mortgage broker and doing an application, one of the aspects that we look at and go through with you as a borrower is your credit report. It's a very important piece of getting approved for a mortgage, and lenders do require significant amount of criteria to be met. Almost all lenders look at, there's two different reporting agencies, Equifax and TransUnion. Equifax is the one that most lenders look at, and they collect information from different creditors such as credit card companies, Federal Student Loan Center, and they also look at car dealerships and things like that. So they collect all your information and then they put it into a credit report and issue a credit score. So when it comes to getting qualified for a mortgage, lenders really want to see your credit score above 700. They range from 300 to 900. 900 will be perfect. 300 would be the weakest possible score someone can have. It really is important to be above 620, as it's a gray area in between 620 to 700, and other aspects of your application would really have to be high and positive, as they're going to look at net worth, length of time with your employer, things like that. Once you have the credit score required, the next piece that a lender is going to look at is going to be your credit history. Lenders really would like to have you have two different trade lines that have been active for 2 or more years, that have a $2,000 limit or more, or an original balance of $2,000 or more. Different trade lines can be credit cards, lines of credit, student loans, car loans, things like that. Once you meet the score and the history, you should be able to qualify for a mortgage solely based on your credit alone. If you are curious as to what goes into creating your credit score, there's 5 factors. So one would be your credit mix. The other one would be new credit, history, utilization, and payment history. So your credit mix is the different trade lines that you have. Whether you only have credit cards, if you've got credit card and a student loan and a car loan, or that weighs into about 10% of how your score is calculated. New credit, which is also 10% of the weight, would be inquiries made by different people that you've applied for credit with. So car loans, if you go to a dealership and they do a hard hit on your credit, and then you go to a bank 2 months later and you apply for a credit card, that would be what's considered new credit. History, which weighs into about 15% of the weight, is going to be whether or not you have had trade lines active for long periods of time. So that's really why lenders want to see your trade lines open for 2 or more years, because that's when they really start helping your credit score to improve. Utilization, that weighs into about 30% of how your credit score is calculated. That looks at adding up all your revolving credit, so credit cards, lines of credit, things that you can borrow on and repay and then borrow again. They really want to see you utilizing 50% or less of the total credit that you have available to you. So adding up credit cards, lines of credit, everything you have access to, and then adding up everything that you owe, you really should be under 50% of what that total amount is, and then you're going to be increasing your credit score. Once you start owing more than 85% of what your total credit is, you might actually be hurting your credit score. The 5th and final piece is payment history. This weighs into 35% of your credit score. Usually if you miss 1 month's payment of anything, it's going to drop your credit score. Once you start getting into 2 and 3 months of missed payments, you could be doing some serious damage to your credit score. That's really what goes into a credit score. They're important items. One thing I will point out is that when you do a credit check with a mortgage broker, it is not a hard hit on your credit score, because Equifax and TransUnion know that potential mortgage borrowers are going to be going around to different sources to make sure they're getting the best mortgage they can, so they don't penalize you for going to different places within a short amount of time. So don't be worried if you're thinking your credit score is going to go down talking with a mortgage broker. Because they're independent, you'll be fine. I hope this video helped you, because credit scores do play an important part in getting pre-approved for a mortgage and approved, and it's the first thing that lenders look at. So please subscribe to our channel below, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us through our website, oakemortgage.ca. Thanks.